All right, you made it. From Maine. Corvair, meet Stanley steamer. Uh-oh, a little traffic here. It's a steam car.
What heats it up, sir?
Diesel.
Diesel fuel, okay.
Actually, I burn 2/3 diesel and 1/3 gasoline mixture.
Okay.
But you can run them on kerosene, you can run them on gasoline, you can run them on Jim Beam, you can run them
Peanut oil.
Peanut oil, French fry oil, something like that?
If you want to smell that way, sure.
Okay, that's what it's all about.
What's the wire, the cable you've got in your hand?
Well, this is a Stanley takes a liquid fuel and runs it through this tube in the burner and turns it from a liquid to a vapor, so that when it gets injected out of the jets back into the burner, when it will light, it's now a vapor, so you're not burning a liquid. But what happens is the vaporizer in which this cable goes in, when you take a liquid petroleum fuel and you vaporize it, you develop carbon. And the carbon will plug the jets up and plug the vaporizer up. So they run a cable like this inside the vaporizer, which you pull out occasionally, and it cleans it. So I mean, you can see how it's black.
Roadside maintenance.
So the car was not, it didn't steam very well this morning when we came down. So I said, okay, I will just clean it up a little bit and see if, I only live 15 miles up the road.
Because of the humidity and the temperature?
It's just the fuel.
The fuel, okay. The mixture.
The biggest problem that every one of these cars on this field will have is ethanol. And don't let anybody in the government tell you that ethanol is good. Because
I'm a corn farmer.
I love to eat it. Don't put it in my gasoline.
Yeah, basically water.
You know, it's an alcohol.
It's alcohol. It belongs on a kitchen table.
Yeah, modern gasoline goes bad in less than 30 days now.
I know all about it. Everybody here's got a lawnmower with rubber fuel lines that are mush.
You know, I can luckily
right?
I can go up to Arrow and a couple of gas stations, and there's still stations where you can get ethanol-free gas.
Yep. Which now that they've got this huge drought in the Midwest, they'll be putting the corn back on the table in the pig's pen. And not in the bloody fuel tanks. Those days are gone.
Well, you know, and they keep talking about.
Now they're not putting it in, so that'll cost them.
Yeah, they've got every excuse in the book. And what are we looking at? A Corsair?
I don't know what that is. That's not a Spit.
That's a radial engine.
It's a Thunderbolt or something like that, I think, you know?
It had no bombs, that's all I know. It's safe.
You might see the biplane, eh, today?
So now you're cleaning.
Well, I've just run this into the vaporizer to try to get carbon out of it. And
roadside maintenance.
Well, what happens if you don't pull this cable out, the vaporizer can get completely plugged, and then you go to try to pull the cable out and you can't get it out.
That's what you said to the sailor.
The carbon will just lock it right in place, and then you're screwed.
Then you put an 18-volt DeWalt drill on the end.
I've had mine almost get stuck.
As you're doing it, do you turn the cable?
No,
because the cable is wound.
Okay.
It's got its own wind in it.
I see.
But I've got a back hammer, slide hammer, that with an attachment to go on a pair of vice grips, so I can grab onto the end of this and really give it a shock to get it out if it gets that stuck. We try not to let it go that far.
65 GTO. Tailpipe splitters.
Operating steam pressure is 600 pounds.
Fine, we need the mix.
1877.
Motor wagon, 1877.
Sheldon. One of the first ones.
Tell me the story briefly behind where the Stanley steamer was for most of its life.
Where this particular car was?
Sure. 1912. Sounds like 100 years old to me.
This is a car that is made up of probably 8 or 9 different cars donated to parts to put this one car together. It's on a replica frame.
Oh, really?
They are wooden frame cars.
Ash.
A 100-year-old wooden frame. is probably not safe. It's not roadworthy anymore.
Probably.
So there are people that reproduce these frames, and they are so exact you can then take all your hardware and bolt it right up to a brand new frame.
Mm-hmm.
With disc brakes?
Yeah, I saw the hydraulic disc brakes. I walked by here earlier.
That's a concession to safety.
A lot of work to it. Yeah, that's right.
Because Stanley's they always had brakes, and they would stop eventually.
Well, he didn't have any roads to go fast anyways,
You know, and
presumably.
it's modern day traffic that causes more problems than these things.
People tailgating.
And you know, it's not only that, we do have a number of old car drivers, not just Stanley drivers, that will look and they'll see they got a mile of traffic behind them, and instead of pulling over and letting modern day traffic go by, they just soldier on, and that's when people get pissed off.
Yeah, they got places to go and things to do.
Pull over, let them go by, wave at them, they honk their horn at you, and away you go.
So what's the rules and regulations about driving this?
The first rule is you got to be crazy. The second rule is you got to be insane.
I meant
You have to have a stationary engineer.
There's no special permitting. I mean, basically it comes down to the fact, if you don't know how to run mine.
That's so cool.
Say that again?
Oh,
Get out of the way.
The fire would come here and
probably does it with more force.
my car and
this one gentleman had one, but he says he goes on the streets.
I can do a hydrostatic check on every boiler, which I do every year.
Yeah, the old pumper there, the pumper up there, you
Pumping
put
water
pressure in there.
And I can get
Then
1,400 pounds of water pressure.
What's the relief valve set at? I'm assuming it's got a relief
The
valve.
release is right there on the side. It opens at about 700 pounds.
When he was operating there?
My burner shuts down at 600.
I said about the lamp, that's what you serve to eat.
Line you cut
Oh, yeah,
You're
yeah.
not careful.
Yeah, soldering iron. Yeah,
You know, there's been more Stanleys damaged due to fire than there is due to a steam explosion.
And does it burn coal or oil? Diesel.
You can burn kerosene.
Except the thing is not
I
there. The
actually
thing is,
burn a mixture of diesel with a little bit of gasoline mixed into it. It just makes the fuel a little easier to burn.
this thing will serve.
You had this rewrapped, it looks like?
Yeah, this boiler itself is maybe 9 or 10 years old.
Can we hear that horn again? My battery went dead. Luckily I had a spare one. Oh, yeah. Out of the way!
I'm just going to see if I can get a fire going again.
Pressed natural gas. You just checked to make sure you had no fumes in the boiler.
That's it.
Uh-huh. You preheat the various valves.
We've got to preheat the pilot because it does the same thing. It takes a liquid fuel but burns a vaporized fuel.
Much like a modern day boiler from World War II has a pump and a nozzle which vaporizes the oil.
Yep.
Yeah, because you can't burn a liquid, you got to burn the vapor. Fumes. And what would someone have used before the little propane torch was invented?
Originally, the car would have been plumbed with a kind of a hinged, onboard blowtorch that would use the gasoline from the pilot as a blowtorch. You'd still need a match.
Or a couple of sticks and a mirror and a... Can you open the fuel? There's your fuel valve. How long have you been tinkering with Stanley steamers?
They've been in my life since I was about 5 years old.
So probably 30, 40 years.
You're generous.
You know I'm lying.
Yeah.
It's burning inside there. That's right.
Oh, and it hangs in there. Perfect.
Well, I just want to get a little bit more heat in there.
Yeah, okay. Rock and roll.
Now you're lighting a fire.
I will eventually be lighting the main burner. Right now, I just lit the pilot.
Okay.
Like an old-fashioned gas stove.
And you're heating the pot.
It's gonna,
I'm familiar with them.
pilot pilot light, or that burns.
Which may
about-
run 24 hours, right?
Yep. When I came in, I shut it down. I didn't want to have the car sitting here under steam while I was away from it.
Right. Yeah, can't trust it if you're not around.
Yeah.
Wow. Carbon nuclear reactor, huh? That was the one of
I
this.
saw one of these on Mars, just land on Mars
Oh
actually.
yeah,
It's
that's
the same thing.
Discovery. Yeah. The driving.
Or was that Curiosity?
nuclear?
Actually, I take it around house to house and I do carpet cleaning.
Oh yeah.
On the side for a couple extra dollars.
Everybody's heard of Stanley Steamer, the carpet cleaner people.
Where was the great race? The 1 mile centennial race?
This was down in Ormond Beach, Florida in 1906. When a Stanley set a world record of just under 130 miles an hour in the flying mile in
Unbelievable.
1906.
1906. The need for speed. Steaming in Saratoga. 2009.
This is Sheldon. Does that say anything?
Oh, I need my other glasses. Yeah, that's a steam wagon.
That's something else, eh?
Yeah.
1877?
Yeah. It'll be a
Small steamer.
Bill, the man behind you in the loader's shirt has a Rolls Royce.
Hi, I'm Peter. I'm the guy that was phoning you, bugging you, and emailing.
Yeah, we were a little late coming down this morning.
And I want to know about sparklers. I can get them.
Oops, sorry.
No problem to buy them.
That's 2025. Yeah, that's your Champion or AC makes those calls. Yeah. Champion is like a D.
Clean the combustion chamber with a cable.
Something else, huh?
Champion or AC, either one. So yeah, that's an available part.
What size is it? I'm going in another size.
No, nothing yet.
It's going to go boom.
Should be 7 inches.
Hope not.
No, no boom.
This is beautiful.
Yes.
Been there, done that.
He didn't release the
He's the pilot.
No, he did.
No, he lit the pilot.
He just shut it down.
Yeah, just shut it down.
That's the pilot.
She's the pilot. She's got a pilot. The vehicle.
Probably got a dozen.
Yeah, but driver in those days was a pilot.
He had to when I saw him last. He used to be in the packing, but
Yeah.
That's 50-50.
He's quite a character.
We call him operator because you're doing more than driving.
You come from
Concord, man.
So what's happening now? I hear some hissing.
That's the
Different breed of people,
Yeah.
the
right?
pilot
That's the
light.
sound of the pilot.
Now, is there pressure? Is it pressurized
Oh yeah,
fuel?
the pilot is burning with about 30 pounds of pressure behind it. See, if you look,
And a
if you
regular fuel
if you
with
stand on your head
Oh,
kind of
I see it.
upside down, you can see the blue flame in there.
Yeah, I see it. I see it.
And that's the Coleman stove.
That's the Coleman fuel in the pilot. Yeah.
Interesting.
How many has Coleman got now?
Oh, I bet he's got a dozen cars.
Is he? Yeah. All steamers?
He used to have a couple of Rolls. But most of his
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Once that goes, I'll spit fire on it.
Not a good spot. You don't want to learn the hard way.
No.
No.
Fire in the hole.
Well, I'm waiting for fuel at this point.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. We got some pressurized stuff happening. 2 jets. They're spraying a bit of fuel. Is that fuel we see coming out of the port?
That is fuel that's going to be getting injected into the burner.
Diesel and gasoline combination. Diesel, kerosene.
This is pilot fuel.
Oh,
I can light the burner on the pilot fuel because it's very easy to ignite.
Yeah. I can see it, yeah.
Here it comes.
So how is it ignited?
There's a pilot light that's already lit in the burner.
which he lit with a propane torch. Sometimes modernity just makes it easy. Let's try to read this shirt again.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I was reading your shirt and my camera died. Let's try it again. Keep on, keep on. Most asked Stanley Steam car questions: how it works. Light fire, boil water, make steam. Startup 10 to 25 minutes from cold. Startup after fired, virtually instant. Fuel: gasoline, diesel, and/or kerosene. Fuel consumption average 8 to 10 miles per gallon. Water consumption about 1 gallon per mile. Water capacity 15 to 50 gallons. Top speed 25 to 75 miles per hour. Related to model and year. Cruising speed 20 to 50 miles per hour, same as above. Tires pneumatic and readily available. Production 10,800. Stanleys from 1902 to 1925. Survivors 400 to 600 roadworthy. The value in the eye of the beholder. Just ask Jay Leno. Now we know everything about the Stanley steamer. And we're back to getting the pilot area warm. Is that what we were doing?
You have to be patient.
It's not something you go.
Our mother would not ride in these cars. when it's cold in the morning, it's about a half an hour from start to finish.
I just love listening when they get going and stuff, that howl, that
Might as well crank it up because we've got another hour.
Well, that's good to know in case we have a flight.
1912, right in the middle of the production, from 1902 to 1925. More steam, we're waiting for heat. Whoop! Crank that pressure up. Oh yeah. Inject that fuel under pressure. Fill up the boiler. You got stuff to do inside here, huh?
Well, when the car's not moving, there's nothing that keeps your fuel pressure up. So when you're stationary, if you watch, this is the fuel pressure gauge, you'll see it continue to drop. And every once in a while, I've got to pump pressure up, keep the pressure high.
So does it pump it? Does it have a motion-operated pump? I see. So you can concentrate on driving and not pumping up pressure.
You hear that, buddy? You see? Okay.
Nothing yet. What's that pump you're operating?
This is pumping fuel.
Really?
If you watch, I'm fighting trying to keep that needle.
It says 140.
Yep.
Yeah, isn't that
140, and we got almost 400 pounds of steam pressure.
400 pounds. Newton, Massachusetts. That's where those gauges were made. 400 pounds of fuel. 140 of fuel, 400 pounds of steam pressure. Whew. That's a lot. Whoop, feel the heat. Starting to get warm.
Hardly the appropriate look for a steam car operator there, you know?
No, I think it's awesome.
You don't have to worry about it.
So what's injecting now out of the two nozzles?
That is vaporized fuel.
That is fuel.
Yeah, see that gets the two tubes that the jet is into. It's called a mixing tube. It's a venturi. So as it injects fuel into the burner, it draws air in with it, and it's underneath what they call the burner grate, and then the fire is above the grate. Sounds simple to me, but
Well, yeah, so is Chinese to a Chinaman, but we've all got our specialties.
yep.
I'll leave it to whoever watches the video to decipher it. Have you met Jay Leno?
I've not met him, but I know he's got a half a dozen steamers now.
Money talks, huh?
Yeah. I'm pumping fuel. Diesel fuel. I can burn kerosene.
Keeping the fuel pressure high. That's fuel pressure.
Well, yeah, I'm watching the fuel gauge here.
Solar. Patents pending. Model 1032. Keep the fuel pressure at 140 pounds. Oh yeah, he's fighting to keep it high. I've never seen this before. It's new to me. Yeah, it keeps it at 140, and it, of course, goes down as it ejects from the burner. Mostly diesel, but there could be some gasoline in the mixture. You just thin things out, get a bit more combustion heat.
Well, you know, I can go. Basically, you're regulated more than anything else by how much water you carry on board.
Okay.
I've got a 30-gallon tank, so this car is good for about 25 to 30 miles before I have to stop somewhere and fill my tank up with water. We have 1 mile per gallon of water and about 10 miles per gallon of fuel.
So we have other buildings.
Tell me.
Oh, fuel pressure's dropping. Fuel pressure's dropping.
I will before I move the car,
Sure. 150.
to make sure that, that we don't have any
pounds.
water going back into the engine.
When I drive mine, the 24, you sent me to protect the superheated core.
Yep. And when I steam up from cold,
When it starts,
I
it
would do
goes.
that.
You know, that's
But with the car, I know the car is sitting here, and I know that the superheater and the steam line have water in them. You know, so I didn't worry about that. But from the, you are correct. From the cold, you want to make sure you open your
Sunshade
throttle
Company.
and the steam chest, so you've got something
Troy, Ohio.
passing through the superheater.
Model 4575. Now I notice your burner pressure doesn't look as high, the vaporization or the atomization.
Nope.
But you've got 150 pounds, 155 of fuel pressure.
Yep, that's. I mean, that's got an automatic that will shut it off at about 160 pounds.
Still waiting to get more heat from the pilot.
So I mean, it's done. I mean, the burner has now shut down automatically. I've got 600 pounds of steam pressure in the car. So now it's just sitting.
Ready to go. Are you gonna? Well, I'm not sure if fire it up, or you're not going to go for a drive. You're just giving a demonstration.
Well, I wanted to see how that work I did. I'll basically leave it fired up now. It's ready to drive. I can
Ready to drive.
basically get in, open the throttle, and drive away.
How long does it stay?
Oh, it'll hold. If I keep the pilot lit, it'll hold its pressure all afternoon. It'll drop a couple 100 pounds, but that'll be it.
Dans les expositions automobiles, il y en a aussi des moyens de chevaux. C'est rarement qu'il y en a assez. Mais c'est important de savoir qu'est-ce qu'on veut.
So to drive it, you just convert the steam to. How does it convert the steam pressure? How does it drive whatever it drives?
Well, you open the throttle, and it lets the steam from the boiler through the main steam line to the steam engine itself.
Oh, there's a device to transmit the steam like a. That's how nuclear power works. Makes steam and drives a turbine.
This is not driving a turbine. This is driving a 2-cylinder steam engine.
Ah, which is inside this.
Which is inside the copper casing and directly bolted to the rear axle.
Oh, 2 pistons.
Yep. No transmission.
Direct drive.
If you want to go into reverse, you step on the valve. You step on the pedals. It reverses the valving, and the engine goes backwards. The car goes backwards.
All right.
Steam engines can same thing as a steam locomotive would do. It's what they call the Stevenson link valve mechanism.
Stevenson link. I'll have to remember that. Now it's got external contracting brakes, but you have hydraulic brakes inside
the
that.
outside brakes are the parking brake, or the
Oh,
handbrake.
parking.
Thank you very much for your information.
Amazing.
Yeah, the discs on the front, is that something you put on?
Amazing. All right. We'll go find somebody else to bother. You've been very helpful. Thank you.
Not a problem. You're quite welcome.
I'm Corvair Wild on YouTube. It'll be up in a day or two. Oh, it's.
You know, I bought a little camera a while back called. You've probably seen it.